I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's Camaro. At first this looks like just a spectacular Camaro. Just a spectacular Camaro would be enough, but this is way past spectacular in the sense that what appears to be just a Camaro is an original 69 body Camaro there, but underneath the car is what changes the whole thing. So we build these cars once in a while. We do what's called an FPS series of cars, where we take a 69 Camaro, we take the shell, it's a unibody chassis, and we restore the whole thing. We add some components to it and make it new, right? But then there's another level where you can take the chassis of a modern Camaro, which has coilovers already built in, rack and pinion already built in. The center of gravity is changed because the engine is farther back. So now, as we look at this car and we see that the engine is positioned behind the rear wheels, this car is an amazing piece of machinery. And as we discuss weight distribution here, as I try to say that quickly, weight distribution, all right? The engine, as we look inside when we open the hood, is behind the front wheels, right? And so instead of hanging over the front wheel like most modern muscle cars have, that's why they don't handle so well. They go great straight, right, because of the weight transfer. But here we're going to get the best of both worlds in the sense that we're going to get a modern chassis underneath, right? A modern chassis underneath with a killer looking body on top that you can't buy today, all right? And if you want a couple things, if you want us to lower the car a little bit, we can do that. This is just how it was set up for the way it was driven. So any of those small changes you want to make, let us know. We can certainly handle those kinds of things here, and we'll take good care of you. All right, so let's walk around because the body itself has a huge amount of time spent in it, all right? All new sheet metal and things like that. I love Cowl induction hoods. They just look great still. If you want, we could put a Cowl induction hood emblem on there, right? Like Chevelles and Camaros would have sometimes. And also a lot of times what we do is add the modern emblems from modern Camaro. So if you look online and you see a couple of the Camaros, or we can email you a picture of them, they can go right here. So that can be there. This was designed just with some stripes and some color, and it just looks really great. But one of the pieces that you need to be looking for is inside here. Look at the size of these Wilwood brakes, and these are the top of the line Wilwood brakes at the time, all right? Because they're the three-piece rotors, you can see the screws and the hats. They're cross-drilled, slotted, and vented rotors, all right? There is no more help you can get in cooling down these brakes. This is a fast car. You need to be able to stop, and that's why you do this. And that's why we have big wheels and tires all the way around. These are 19s, and when the Wilwood brakes fill up almost the whole entire wheel in there, right? Wheels are pushed to the corners of the car, and so you're getting this kind of road course look and feel of the car. If you wanted to take this to a vintage track day, can you imagine how great this car would do compared to other cars out there? If this car is in the class of 69 Camaros that you're running against, you have a very unfair advantage against everybody else because you have a modern chassis built in underneath, and you need to take some time and look at the pictures that we have of the car underside. So here's how else you'll know. We'll open the hood for a second. I'll show you the detail there. But here's how else you'll know when you come back here and we open the trunk. You can see that the trunk of this car is very different. Check this out. This is a modern Camaro trunk. Gas tanks moved in there, okay? It's no longer underneath the car. And so the underneath the car is nice and flat now. And you have some storage in here. And this has a killer stereo. As you can see, there's the amp. I'll show you the rest of the stuff inside. New gaskets, weather stripping. The stripes are cleared all the way through, okay? And more importantly, you can't feel the stripes. So if I could, I'd like to show you real quick how beautiful that paint is. See how every letter is nice and crisp. You can see what time it is. You know exactly what's happening there. Oh my God, I need to do something with this face, but that's why I do it, and you shouldn't do that, all right? All right. This is really, really nice. So come on up here for a second. I want you to see, look at the size of this radiator. I talk about radiators because it's a big deal to me. The reason the radiator is important is because when we want to run cool and we want to do those things, let's say you want to go to a car show, go to the beach, something like that, the stock radiator is not enough, especially when you have air conditioning. This car has air conditioning. You can't see the compressor because it's a low mount compressor. So this car has air conditioning in it, all right? Here's a condenser up front. So once you have air conditioning and you add a condenser there, you want a big radiator with giant electric fan. And this is called a fan module. You see how it's sealed? So it pulls all the air through instead of just a little bit. This right here is a brake proportioning valve. So in case you wanted to adjust the brakes on the car, maybe you wanted it more brakes in the front or more brakes in the rear, you just turn the knob a little bit and that gives you that. Power steering fluid here, and these billet tanks, overflow tank for the radiator here. Look how nice these pieces are. And I'm showing you these pieces because when you build a car that costs over $100,000 to do, this is what you get. You say, well, Tone, how could a tank cost $100,000? You're right, it's not the tank that's $100,000. It's that tank, it's that tank, it's the custom radiator, it's the air conditioning, it's the Optima battery, it's the red carbon fiber handmade valve covers, it's the all aluminum block heads and everything, LS2 power plant. It's a 6-speed aluminum case transmission. I'm going on and on and on. Add all that stuff up, we're probably in the $70,000, $80,000 range. We haven't even restored the car yet or found a way to massage a 69 body onto a 2002 chassis, which took months and months in its own right. All right, so part of the great fun of this car is, first off, it's an exotic. When we say, why is it an exotic? Well, because it's an exotic build. It was a very expensive car to build. It has incredible components in it. I want to show you some of that stuff. Let's look under here for a second. Look at that giant sway bar hanging down. 4-wheel disc brakes, coilover suspension all the way around, and this is height adjustable as well. So you can kind of pick the height you want and go for that. That's a modern set of wheels and tires. You want an old school set of wheels and tires, we can swap those out. These are a couple things that we can do here if you want to make it your own. If you love it just the way it is, you can be driving it this weekend. All right, so when we come in here, this is where it gets even better. Look how custom this whole car is, right? So this is deluxe door panels here, all right? Custom dash with full Autometer gauges, 10,000 RPM Tach, 160 mile-an-hour speedometer. Can you imagine rolling down the front straight? And you click it into 6th gear for 160. I wouldn't know that personally, just something I read online. I don't condone any of that. Polk speakers buried in here, the amps that we saw there, great Pioneer head unit here, custom console, pulled out of that same CAMARO donor that this came in here. Great seats, matched interior all around. Just a beautiful, beautiful car. Little stuff like tilt wheel, air conditioning, great stereo, and it is just an awesome, awesome car. The shifter just fits so nicely right in your hand. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it because you know what? The whole package is incredible. Spend some time looking at it, but don't wait too long because sooner or later it's going to be someone else's driveway and you're going to go like, man, I should have bought that car. All right, so we close up the video on this, what I might even call today's modern hybrid, right? It's a hybrid between an old school body and a new school chassis underneath, giving you the best of both worlds. We have handling, we have performance, we have lightweight because we have aluminum block and heads, aluminum transmission, right? Incredible suspension underneath, and then we have some modern accoutrements like air conditioning, killer sound system, right? Power rack and pinion steering, and power 4-wheel disc brakes, great 19-inch alloys all around. I go on and on and on. You can just tell a lot of money was spent, but this is the way to buy a car. You let somebody else build it, they drive it for a little bit, then they sell it, and then you get the benefit of saving a ton of money and not having to wait 2 or 3 years to get it in your hands. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about this awesome, awesome Pro Touring 69 Camaro. Once in a while you run across a car that just sounds, feels, looks good, like you turn the key on, man, and you're like, you know what am I going to put on the radio? You know what, I think I'll put on something that pops up, and you hit the key, and because it's fuel injected and all that, you don't have to pump the gas. It doesn't matter whether it's hot out or cold out or whatever, and then it just sounds fabulous.